Hello everyone, welcome back to the Moments When Death Takes a Nap series. In this exciting video, we will revisit a series of astonishing and incredibly lucky moments of humanity. And without keeping you waiting any longer, let's prepare a strong and healthy heart to experience it together with us. Whether you are an explorer, a biologist, or simply have a fondness for sharks, always remember to be cautious and protect yourself. Luck doesn't always smile upon us, right? Despite his efforts to capture a beautiful shot, this man came dangerously close to becoming Mr. Half. Sometimes sacrificing for art doesn't always earn you praise, young man. The man was walking his pet dog when they accidentally crossed paths with a speeding car. Luckily, he acted quickly and released the leash, allowing the dog to escape danger and run onto the sidewalk. However, it seems like the dog's owner might not have realized that their pet had narrowly escaped harm and was chasing after the car to resolve the situation. Nevertheless, this was indeed an extremely fortunate moment. This situation truly fits the saying, "Death knocks at the door," meaning that sometimes, even when you're at home, unwelcome guests or dangers can still find their way in. Fortunately, in that moment, no one was sitting in the living room. They were in other rooms or the kitchen, or in another interpretation, it could be that death has simply gotten lost and ended up with the wrong house. This heart-stopping situation was captured by a dash cam, but let's not focus on who's right or wrong. What's important is whether the motorcyclists are okay. Fortunately, they were only injured and not seriously harmed. Death must be quite disappointed with this missed opportunity. When the gods of the sea and death are arch enemies, these guys seem to be benefiting. I wonder if he made a deal with someone, or maybe he's related to the sea god to act so boldly. Fortunately, he landed in the water and not on some other object. Otherwise, this day next year might have been his Memorial Day. It seems like the traffic situation was quite good and the drivers were following the traffic police's instructions, right? Oh, just finished praising them and then this accident happened. Fortunately, there were some traffic officers as witnesses. As soon as they remembered the license plate number of the vehicle causing the accident, one of the traffic officers signaled for their colleagues to help the injured person, while the other immediately called for assistance. It appears that death spared the young man on the motorbike, but it didn't give a pass to the car driver. Well, let's consider it a loss of KPI. But at least a negative element has been removed, dear deity. While people say that carps must turn into dragons to fly, this shark deity seems to fly without hesitation to satisfy his hunger. Just a small misstep and this man could have lost an arm. At this point, survival would have been more challenging than death, as he might have had to retire from this dangerous endeavor. Watching racing is a thrilling experience, but it's essential to have insurance, folks. Be prepared for the worst case scenario because not everyone can be as lucky as this guy. If death has not been dozing off at this moment, it might have been quite delighted to collect millions of tiny souls. He has been struck by lightning twice and survived? That's truly incredibly lucky. Storms are always nature's fury, claiming many lives, but in this situation, fortunately, there were no human casualties. Upon closer inspection, just a slight delay could have led to painful consequences for the woman and the baby in the stroller, or for the cyclist, as the massive trees came crashing down onto the road. Pay attention to the house by the side of the road and you will feel incredibly lucky just by watching. The incident begins when the first walls collapse. The passing cars seem somewhat indifferent, but then, as if having a sixth sense, one particular car starts to slow down and comes to a complete stop. Right at that moment, the house collapses, pulling down the adjacent building and nearby power lines. Fortunately, there were no casualties in this house collapse. I've heard somewhere that snake handling is an easy and high-paying job, but I didn't believe it until I saw this video. Whether it's venomous snakes or death itself, all you need to do is raise your middle finger and everything will go according to your plan. When misfortune strikes, even being indoors won't necessarily keep you safe. With a truck wheel rolling right up to the doorstep like this, the homeowners must have been quite shocked. Let's hope there were no explosions or that the truck didn't suddenly lose control and reverse back into the house. Just a little closer, and this guy could have become a near decapitated neck. This perilous moment happened in the blink of an eye, demonstrating that there was indeed a rookie death apprentice lurking around here, seemingly indifferent. It's unclear whether Death was just threatening or deliberately trying to claim someone's soul and failed. But in this moment, not only did the mechanic narrowly escape death, but the dog also miraculously remained safe, didn't it? If it weren't for Death passing by, there might have been a regrettable incident. Continuing the streak of luck, this man was riding his motorcycle on the highway when suddenly the car next to him lost control and collided with other vehicles, including his own. Fortunately, being on a motorcycle allowed him to maneuver and avoid the collision. At the very moment when this girl was about to dive into the sea, a dark shadow appeared. Fortunately, following her instincts, she stepped back and returned to the boat. It is as if a shark has leaped out of the water to send his loving regards. If she had been just a little less alert or a bit slower, she would have become a special meal for the shark and contributed a tiny KPI to some dozing death entity. The wife of the Lord of the Forest also has to go hunting like anyone else. Here, she managed to catch a young gazelle. She had a satisfying meal today. However, it's the one who laughs last that wins. With maternal instincts, the mother gazelle returned and did everything in her power to save her baby from the lion's claws. When both gazelles successfully escaped, the lioness sat there in disappointment. Death must be thinking, well, I'll just wait for her to starve and I'll complete my KPI anyway. This is a completely real situation, folks. It wasn't staged or involved any professional actors. It's just a simple case of Spider-Man showing off his skills to avoid Death's kiss. In this case, the fact that the motorcyclist didn't lose their life or limb is incredibly lucky. With calm weather, no rain or storm, and yet trees falling like this, is certainly some dark force trying to meet its monthly KPI. Too bad for them, they've got the enthusiasm but lack the skills. Luck might not come for a second time in a situation like this. If it weren't for divine intervention, a terrible incident could have occurred. Watching this is truly heart-stopping. If it had veered just a tiny bit, this guy would have had the flycam fall right on his head. Terrifying. Have you ever witnessed a car accident where the car was severely damaged, especially at the front, but the occupants in the driver's and passenger's seat remained unharmed like this? If you have, it indeed seems like Death might have been working too hard, exhausting its energy to the point where it couldn't pass through any more of life's experiences. Right when someone leapt over the rocks, all those layers of rocks came tumbling down simultaneously. Fortunately, the guy filming took a step back. Otherwise, this might have been the video capturing his last moments before meeting death. This was indeed a stroke of luck for both the young boy and the talented car driver. If the miracle hadn't happened in that moment, there could have been injuries or even a nuisance for someone else. Now, this is a super lucky moment where even death has to step back. Despite ending up in the deadly corner of the tanker truck and falling flat on the road, this guy miraculously managed to escape death when the tanker's wheels narrowly missed him 5 times out of 7. The police car, despite its red lights, seems to be in a hurry to carry out its duty. Unfortunately, it was hit by a car from the left lane. It's unclear how this incident was resolved, but since it involved hitting a police vehicle, there might be potential legal consequences, such as charges for obstructing an officer in the performance of the duty. In this case, the fact that the motorcyclist didn't lose their life or limb is incredibly lucky. Because Death has missed his KPIs many times, it decided to partner with this snake to share the spoils. However, it seems that Little Snake had a low-level performance. It barely had time to do anything before it was sent to heaven. It's true, sometimes you encounter unexpected blessings. Uh-oh. It looked like the shark had fallen into the human's trap. This time, it seemed like Death was sealed for sure. But no, it managed to escape. Just look at Death's expression right now, haha. Wait a minute, is there someone inside the cage? So who was the one who narrowly escaped death just now? Even here, I can still hear the cries for help from the guy in the video. Hang in there, buddy. You'll escape from this ball. I wonder if Death's superiors were to watch this video, would Death be demoted? And if so, what position would Death be demoted to? Oh my god, oh my god, oh dear, oh dear, oh my god. I also wish I could go snowboarding romantically with my significant other like this. But hold on, snowboarding and encountering Death passing by like this might not be a good idea. Death must be scratching his head when it comes to these individuals. Even though they might be treating Death lightly, if Death were to successfully add these daredevils to its notebook, it might end up with more headaches. Who knows? They might even invite each other to cross the train tracks a few more times in the afterlife. Absolutely, each of these moments when Death takes a nap leaves us in awe. Situations that initially seemed like they could lead to a meeting with our ancestors suddenly turn into close calls. These moments of luck serve as a reminder of the fragility and beauty of life. And don't forget to subscribe and like our channel to not miss out on the next exciting videos. Thank you and see you again soon.